Hi, everyone. Welcome to Chat Editor, exploring the chat editor. So a little bit about me. My name is Jean Walsh, and I'm a consultant for Saltillo. I live and work in Colorado, and I also consult for Utah. So my background is special education. So I was a teacher in Jefferson County in the metro area, and I taught for about 20 years. I used a lot of technology with my students. I just always saw so much progress when I could figure out how they could communicate, right? And that's why when I retired, I started working with Saltillo. I'm a part-time consultant. I share the state with another wonderful lady, Megan Conover. So also I went to the University of Pittsburgh. It's where I got my master's in education. And that is a wonderful program for special education. So just a little bit about me. So as far as installation, you actually have two options with this. If you have a NovaChat or Chat Fusion device, you would have gotten a CD along with it. And otherwise, you can go to the link that Lisa sent with that, and under products, it's Chat Editor. Once you go on that, you can go to the download now, or you can just go right to the link that Lisa sent. Also, if you have had this on your desktop for a while, you need to check, and we'll go through how to do this in a minute. You need to make sure that you have the latest version of it. Right now, we're at 2.11. You also can get this on the TouchChat app website. So these actually go exactly to the same link. So you either get it on the Saltillo website, you go to Chat Editor and select here, or you go to the TouchChat website and you go under accessories and you go select here, and it's the exact same software that goes onto your PC computer. So what can you do with it? Why do you want it? So there's a lot you can do with it. What we're going to talk about today mainly is customizing. You can use that and also transferring with it. If you haven't signed up for the webinar on Friday, please do that, because you're going to learn a lot of things to do with it. You're going to learn how to interact with it and really focus on creating materials. And that's going to make it a lot of fun for you and the people you support. So this is our agenda for today. So we're going to go through what is the chat editor and how it can be helpful. I'm going to walk you through installing it, setting up a configuration, navigating through it, customizing, and this is where you're going to get some hands-on practice. And then I'm going to show you how to transfer the vocabulary and import files from your computer. And most of the stuff is in your handout also. So it is a free companion software, and it supports all of our devices. So the chat wrap, the chat editor, the chat editor supports the chat wrap and the TouchChat app, just like it supports the NovaChat and Chat Fusion. So how is it going to help you? It's going to make your life easier. So it really is. You can make things for around the room. There's all this stuff you can do. And one of the most important things is it's going to help you back up your vocabulary files, and you can work on customizing somebody's vocabulary file on your computer so you do not have to have their device. So if you're supporting these devices in a school, you can work on it on your computer, and then you can just get the device and quickly transfer it. Helps you label things in the classroom. It also is really nice that it works with the smartboard. This video, this little guy Gabe here that you're gonna see, this classroom I worked with a lot. This is really old. I think he's in high school now. But this on the smartboard, this classroom had about 10 students in it, and I think there were 4 different devices in the classroom. They were not all Saltillo devices, but every morning when the kids were coming in and they were getting their things organized, they were all supposed to go up to the board and say something about what they did last night. So it was really funny because I went in this classroom a lot when we were working on this, and a lot of the kids, almost all of them, every morning they got up there and they talked about what they ate. And I thought it was so funny because I think like that's what we all do when we talk to people. Oh, I got this new recipe, da da da. So that's what they did. And the kids who did not need communication devices, they still had language delays. So they could use this maybe to work on their grammar. And it was, you know, their sentence structure. It was really wonderful. So I'm going to put this up for you just for a little bit. Gabe's a character, as you'll see. He's not going to let her make him do 2 choices anymore, is he? So I'm sorry if you couldn't hear that, but every word was spoken through the smartboard in there. And that is the paraprofessional in the classroom that was handling the whole morning group stuff. So it was good. So another way it's going to help you up, and you will learn this stuff at the presentation next week, is to make some low-tech backup books and to make materials for your classroom. So let's talk about configuring the chat editor. So that is what you need to do first after you install it. So when you open up your chat editor, it's going to ask you for the configuration, and there's a big yes that you do need to do this. With the Saltillo devices, there are so many different choices. You can have the PCS Mayor Johnson symbols, you can have symbol sticks, you can have different languages, you can be working with just the touch tap. So you need to make the configuration for what the device is that you're working for and what the student is using on it. So this is, somebody made this really nice I want to play ball, right, page for somebody's NovaChat. And what they didn't realize is the NovaChat only had symbol sticks on it. And when they were working on the chat editor, they made it all with PCS symbols, with the Mayor Johnson symbols. So look what happens then when they go to move it over, none of them are going to show. So you have to go by what the device is that you're doing. Symbol sticks is the default and PCS is what was added on, but on your chat editor you have options for everything. So we're going to do a pretend setup, okay? This you have as one of your handouts, and we're going to do this one together just for this show, and then you'll have time later to think about the devices that you're working with. So the name of the person, we're going to have Joe Training, okay? And this guy, he uses the NovaChat. And he is only working in English, and he only has symbol sticks, and it doesn't matter about the TouchChat app in-app vocabulary because he's working on a NovaChat. Okay, so that's how you're going to fill out this form. So when you go to look at the devices, it's really easy to find out what your user has. On the NovaChat, you go to Menu, Help, and About, and you'll see right on there what they have. And symbol sticks is the SS, and the Mayor Johnson is the PCS symbols. Just to know, it also tells you your version of the Chat Fusion. And this one was really old. It was 2.02. Current version is 2.11. So just another push there that I hope you are keeping your devices updated and your software updated. So in order to select and create you have to make a configuration. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, excuse me, these slides, and then I'll go to my chat editor and you can do one along with me, okay? So when you first open it up, it's going to ask you to choose the configuration, and I want you right now to go, we're going to, when we get to it, we're going to create a new configuration. Some of you said you had already worked with Chat Editor, so you might have a configuration on there, but we're going to do one just for this webinar. So you go to configuration, switch configuration, and then when you scroll down to the bottom of that, you will see create a new configuration. So, and we're going to do it for Joe Training, and his was a NovaChat, Chat Fusion. He did English, and he did symbol sticks. Put a name on it, and it'll be there for you. Click OK, and it's going to open up to this new configuration. So if we look at my chat editor, and when we go here, you can, mine was already up, and I'm going down to configuration, and I go over to switch configuration. Sorry. There it says, now it says choose the configuration. But what I want to do, I'm going to go down because I want you all to be able to create a new configuration. So go to create a new configuration. And you see that, that in the skip future selections, I don't check that because I work with so many different devices that are set up so differently, and I want to make sure that I am looking for the right device and the right symbol set and the right language. So but if if you're working with just one NovaChat or one touch chat, then you can click that. Feel free. Go to OK. We are looking at the NovaChat Chat Fusion. I just wanted to show you what else was on there. And go OK. The language you're supporting, English is always on there. So if you have kids who have a Spanish vocabulary set also, do the English and the Spanish. Otherwise, you will not see any Spanish vocabulary sets on there. Go to OK. Symbol sticks, you can do just PCS or you can do symbol sticks and PCS. Click OK. Pick a new name for this one. This one is
Welcome to Chat Editor.
And there we are. So we now have that, and you'll see up on the top it says that it is the webinar Joe training. It's the configuration I just made. Okay, so hopefully you were able to do that, and it opened up with that configuration. So what I would like you to do right now, and we'll just take a couple of minutes for this, is you see this configuration sheet that you have in your handout, and I want you to think of the users that you're working with. And this is just going to help you figure out how to do this, because it's really important that you have the right stuff on your chat editor. So think of the students you're using, the clients you're seeing, what systems they have, what languages they have, what symbol sets. If it's touch chat, you need to know what the in-app vocabularies are. So take a few minutes and jot this down, please. Okay, so hopefully you were able to do that. So you can maybe do a raise of hands. Were you able to fill in each box and get it all set up? That means that you know what you need, the configurations that you need. I think I have a hand up. And then, so if you need help with this, you can ask in the sidebar. You can contact your local rep if you're really feeling like, oh, I don't know about these configurations. And you can watch this video again. And so hopefully you can all do that now. A couple of things that are different with the device and the editor is that the voice output is only going to work after you've connected a device, just one time. So you connect the device to it. And it starts talking, and then you disconnect it, and it's still going to keep on talking. So you just have to connect a device once. And after you do that, it's fine talking all the time. It'll talk on your smart board or whatever. So another thing that you need to know, if you're hiding buttons, they do transfer. It's the same. When you can hide them on the chat editor, move it over to the device and they're fine. Or you can do it on the touch chat app and they're fine. And settings do not transfer. So I'll go over some of the settings, but you're not going to have the same voices. Whatever you have on your computer is what you have. So those sorts of things do not. And this is kind of the biggie, is that the word finder is not available on chat editor. The word finder is only on the devices, both of them, all of them. So let's look at navigating the chat editor, and we're going to go through the menu bar on there. So the settings are very similar. We'll go through some of those in a minute. And the library, that's where you're going to find your customized and default libraries. Your help is where you're going to look for updates. And those three black dots there, the blank ones, that will change, that tells you if you connect your device, it's going to say, hey, I'm here. So the menu settings. The menu settings that you have are just a little bit different, and I'm going to walk you through just a little bit of that. So when you go through your settings, and input is, just what's going to be necessary for your year, speech output, abbreviations, text. Style, this is really important. When you look at style, make sure that your button style, that you have some saturation in there. If you uncheck this, then the buttons will turn red when they're hit, and that's going to mess up when you finally do learn to go to capture and make things with it. So just saturation, and that's the percentage it gets brighter. So if you have like at 20%, it's going to be way too gray. So that is okay there. Another thing is viewing. You can make your screen big or small, and you could have it in landscape or portrait. This is a really cool option. You can print pages. You'll learn more about that next week. And that's your settings. So your library is where your files are. My resources are the ones that you have saved. We are only in English in this configuration, so I have my English ones and I only have my symbol sticks ones, right? Because that's what we put up. So there's all your vocabulary files. And your help button is where you're going to find the about on it, and it's going to tell you what version you're running, and it's going to tell you what symbols you have right now. So this, these two arrows just go back and forth inside your vocabulary that you have on, and the home goes to the home button of the vocabulary that you're on. So if I was on my social and then I went to the home, it's going to take me back to that page. Stop, it actually stops the speaking. Clear, it's going to clear the speech display bar. And edit mode is how you toggle on and off, and capture is where you can make cool things. So I went through the style, the button, the saturation, size, print pages, configuration. So then under resources, you can also see that all of your files, when you go under the English original, that they are locked. And so in order to edit, you have to make a duplicate copy. And the help is about, and the current version. So I think we went through all of these. So one thing that you really need to know is that the editor version, the chat editor on your computer, and the devices need to be friends, which means they have to be on the same version. You know, sometimes we do like a 2.11.2, and that's fine. But it's really your best option to keep your devices updated and to keep your chat editor updated. If you have problems with that, just there's lots of resources online with it, but it really helps make everything smoothly. If you hooked up a 2.6 device to the editor that you just downloaded at 2.11, it's going to cue you that you need to update the device, and they're not going to talk to each other until they're both in the same mode, same version. So you can go on your computer, go to menu help, on your device, go to menu help about, and that's where you can find what version you're on. On the Touch Chat app, when you're in the vocabulary files, you look at the very bottom, and that tells you the version. So customizing on Chat Editor, okay? We're going to duplicate, we're going to make some pictures. So You have the same features available on the chat editor. It's just a little different how you do it, but you end up with the same stuff. So you can only edit a file that you duplicate, and I'll run through this and then we'll do it together. So you click on the edit mode after you've duplicated it, and your computer, your mouse that you're using, the right works the same as the press and hold on the button. So you just right click and that's how you get your menu up. Okay, so to duplicate a file, I'll show you in a sec, but I'll look through this. You go to the library and go to the English. You're going to start with a brand new file. Go to symbol sticks. You can see they're all locked. Go for this, we're going to do this one together, and we're going to use one of the word power files. The word power files, there's so many of them, they're in this extra folder. So you click open that, and we're going to go down to word power 60 basic, and that's the one that we're going to work on. And you just go to duplicate and then give it a new name. We're going to do it for this training here today. So I always suggest people leave the original name so you know what file you started with, and then add on. If you're adding on a student's name, just add that on. And then hit save, and now it's going to pop up into your resources. And then you just open it, and there you are. So let me switch back to my editor. So to do this, you just go to library and you go to English. I hope you're doing this along with me. You go to English and you go to symbol sticks. Scroll down. You're going to see the word power file. Word power 60 basic. And we are going to duplicate this. And I'm just going to take off the copy and go to chat editor, train, file. And I'm going to save it. And it takes it a minute to save it. It opened it back up. I have a lot under my resources. So here we are. It's right here. And now I can click on it and open it. It looks the same as the one I had on there, right? So it's right there. Okay, so what we're going to do then is we're going to customize a button. And I'll go back to here, and we're going to customize under social and personal and then my name. So we go through that. You go into edit mode. You'll see the red bar on there. You'll also see the name of the file up here when you're in edit mode, and it tells you the name of the page you're on too. So go to social and then personal and then my name, and then we're going to right click on it. And we'll go to edit button, and you'll see this menu, which should look pretty familiar from working on the device. And the label is the what it says on the button, and the message is what the device is going to say and what goes into the speech display bar. So that's where you're going to add your name. My name is, and put your name there. And then you're going to search for an image. You need to search under girl or boy or something like that. If you search with what says on there, my name, it's not really going to have anything. Another thing that you can do is add an image. And you're going to be able to import a picture from your computer, and it easily goes through that, and then you can go to next. This is kind of a cool feature, makes it faster on the computer. You don't have that on the device. On the device, you say okay, and then you go on. But in here, you can do that on the devices and on the app. Okay, so then it goes to the next one. And I'm going to walk through these with you. And if you have yours up, please do these along with me. Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm going to go here and go into edit mode. I get my red bar around there, and now my name appears up here, the name of the file and the page I'm on. And I'm going to go to social, personal, and now I'm going to right click on my name. So if you're doing this along with me, which I hope you are, if you have any questions, just ask them. Go to edit the button. I don't need to change the label, but I do need to change this. And then I'm going to search for a picture, and I'm going to put girl and select it. Oops. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to search. I didn't really search, did I? And go over there to search, and it's going to show you all of your girl pictures. And I'm going to figure one that I like, and I'm going to select it. And there it is. But I also want to show you about importing. Importing is where you get to your pictures. That's one of the nice things about doing it on your computer, because you can go to all of your pictures that you have. And I'm going to find one on here. I'll find one of my dog. And I'm going to open this up. And there we go. And this is the picture that I want to put for me. So I just go to open, and there it is. So the other thing that you're going to work on is the style. The style is your next button over, and that just means you can change the colors, you can change the font. So the body of this, I'm going to make it green. Click OK. The text, I'm going to make my text stand out even more than that and say OK. And the border, the color and the width, if you're working on teaching someone how to always say their name, you might want to make a big border and make it a really bright contrasting color. So if you do that, when they get to this page, it's going to really stand out for them. And it's just going to be one more cue that they're going to figure out which button you're working with. And could go okay, but I'm going to show you some actions. So if you go to the actions, right now the action that is this button is set to do is to speech display. So that means it is going to say what is on the button, and it's going to put it in the speech display bar. So what I want to show you, because this is the one you're going to use the most, is to navigate. And you need to find it in your tab bar and then add it. And animation is just when it goes from page to page, if it's going to do some weird thing, and I don't know, most people go no animation, go to OK on that, and then it says, okay, what page do you want it to go to? You can create from template. And you go to create it from a template. We're going to do a word power because that's what we're on. and go down to the basic template, and it shows you what you're looking at. So then you have some really nice core vocabulary on that page. You have your category things up there. Your home button is already there. You have a delete word, a clear, you have all that. So I'm going to choose this one. And it says you have to type a name for it. So I'm going to navigate this to my Lacey page. And I'm going to save it. So now it's still there saying, okay, where do you want to navigate? And then I just find it. And these are always alphabetical. Okay, I'm going to navigate to my Lacey page I just made. And it's right there. Click on it and say choose. So now it's not only going to say it, it's going to navigate to it. And I'm going to go okay. So now I have my Lacey button on here, and it's also navigating to there.
My name is Gene.
And it goes there. So what I want you to do is after you've gone through this, right? Customizing the action tab. It's what I just showed you. Take a couple of minutes, and I'm sorry I've taken more time than I should have. Take a couple of minutes and do your own personalizing of one or two of these. Feel free to go in the chat window, but try some of this. If you have any issues, please ask questions. And if you ask the question, probably 5 other people have the same one. So I'm sure that probably most of you have a device that you've been working on with this, so it's really familiar, right? The next button is nice though, right? Okay, so as far as hiding and showing, for the sake of time, I'm sorry I'm going on, so I hope you're all back with me. Hiding and showing, when you're in edit mode, you select that and then you go to the hide mode. And what you do is you hide on pages, right? You just have to do one page at a time. And so then you just get out of hide mode in order to then go back to the next page or go forward to the next page that you want to hide ones on. And you can do this you can start with hide all. That's what your screen would look like. And then you can select the ones that in hide mode, then you can select the ones you want to show. I think that'll be pretty self-explanatory. So then this is what it looks like. And when you move this over to your device, then this is what it looks like. So I don't think we have time to give you more practice time right now, but later on, as soon as we get done with this, I hope you have some time to practice. So as far as transferring files, I want to make sure that you know how to do this. Transfer files to and from the device, and emailing files is what we're going to talk about. So be really, you don't want to be this kid. I was just at a school, and they had this boy who, they never locked the menu on his device, and they said they thought it was kind of cute that he was on a 60 basic, but he would go to other files and kind of explore around, and they kind of thought that he was just teaching himself things. And he would go to 108, and then he'd always go back to his own when it wasn't his free time on his device, and they were all fine with it. Well, he accidentally hit delete on his file, so he lost all of his specialized stuff. So you don't want that to happen, and they had not backed it up. So transferring files, you don't want those sad stories. So this is why you want to do it and what you're going to need. So we're going to talk first about doing it from the NovaChat and the Chat Fusion. So I'm going to go through the slides and then I'll demo it. So you have your computer with Chat Editor, and you have your NovaChat device, and you hook it up. So if you hook it up, you just need the USB part of it, and you put it in there. You can use the power cable. It has a disconnect right in there, and you can use that, or they send you out another one too, but it's the same. So what happens then, you will see on your chat editor, it says device is connected, and you go to the library, and you go to transfer, and you move the vocabulary files to and from device. And once you do that, you're going to see all of your files that are on the chat editor that are ones that you have copied, and then you'll see all of them on the device on the right. So you pick the ones that you want, selecting the word power one, and you go to the editor and you move it over there and you hit done. It's going to move it over there. You don't have to do that. You just check to editor, and then it goes. So I'm going to demo this real quick. My device is on, and I'm going to plug the USB port into my computer. And once I get that plugged in, I hear a little ding on my computer, which I'm not sure you probably can't hear. And my device changed. It now says transfer mode. And you'll see it blinked a couple times, and now you have this up here that says device is connected, right? Okay, I don't really want to be in edit mode for this. Here it says device is connected. It just has my configuration that I'm using. So I go to library, and I go to transfer vocabulary files to and from the device. So I have 3 ones here that I can move over. So I'm going to do this one, and I'm going to move it over to the editor. And that's it. It's already on there. It works really that quickly. And I could have clicked all 3 of them and done them at the same time. And then I just say done. Now when I look on my resources, it's right there. So it's that fast for the whole file to come over. And it's the same thing going back. So you've had this file on your student with there, and now you want to move it back over. And you can go to any of these. I'll take the one we're working on. And I'm going to go to device. And there it is. It's that quick. So now that file is on this device. And I go done. And just going to click off of this, and I unplug my device. And it takes a minute, no, not even a minute, a second to do this. Are there any questions on that? Okay, now transferring the files to and from the touch chat, and it's the same reason why you want to do this. And what you need to have on there is iTunes on your computer, which if you're using Touch Chat app, I'm sure you already have that. And so what you do is that you connect your iPad to the computer. And if you're going to transfer the files from Chat Editor to Touch Chat, you just open up Chat Editor, you go to your library, and you can't say to and from device, because what you need to do is you're going through iTunes. So there's just one little extra step. So you go vocabularies to file. So you're going to put these, you're going to transfer them onto your desktop. And so it's going to say, okay, pick a vocabulary. You pick the vocabulary, you hit transfer. It says, where do you want to save this? I always save it on my desktop. I can find it quickly, and then I just hit save. And then you open up your iTunes. And when you open up your iTunes, what you're going to see, because you have your device connected to it, and you're going to see up here this little icon that's going to tell you this is your device. The Apple just recently updated it, so it's a little different. If you, when you go to the new update, what you need now is you go to File Share on there. It doesn't necessarily show you the apps. And then I'll go back. When you go to File Share on here, and then you go and it shows you all the apps that you have that can file share, and you select the Touch Chat app, and then you're going to see that what you're going to need to do is you're going to have to click Add File. And so when you click Add Your File, then it's going to say, okay, it's going to automatically pop up to say, where is that file that you want to add? And you can do it right there. There's the one that I saved. So then I add it onto there. Then I go back and you go to your device, your iPad, and you go to Import Export, and then you import it from iTunes, and you select that file. It'll automatically show it. Once you hit save, it asks you if you want to save, change the name, or if you want to add a memo. You can do any of that. And I'll show you, I have iTunes up. And once I connect my iPad, sorry, I didn't have it plugged in all the way. Then now I see that I have the icon for my iPad. And I'm going to collect that. And it's going to instantly go to this screen where it says, okay, you can see it's syncing it. It always does that. And then it says the summary of what's in Jean's iPad. And I go down to file sharing. Okay, I want to file share something from Touch Chat. From my chat editor, I've already moved this, but what I can do right here, if I want to add a file, it's going to go right to my desktop, right? That one thing with scrolling down to add file, that always gets me. If I had my screen big, I would see it, but otherwise you have to scroll down to add the file. I'm going to add this file, go to open. It's because I wouldn't normally do that, but I'm going to tell it to replace it right now. And then I'm going to scroll back up, and there it is. There's that file. I've added it, and now I'm going to go back to my Touch Chat app, and it's going to be in there. And that is what you're going to see here. When you go to your Touch Chat app and you go up to the menu bar, and when you go up to the menu bar, you go to the vocabulary, and then you go to Import Export. After you select that, this menu will come up on the right, and it's going to tell you you're going to tell it that you want to import from iTunes, and you're going to see this file, which is the WordPower 60 Basic. And then it'll be added to your list. So as far as backing up options, as far as your different devices that you have, you can, if you have a NovaChat, it's direct connect, just like I showed you with putting the USB onto your computer, and it goes right to your chat editor. With the Chat Fusion, it does the same. TouchChat Express, if your Express is unlocked, you can use iShare, which I'm going to show you, or you can use iTunes if it's locked. That's the only option that you have. And you can also, if you have a newer model with AirDrop and your other device has it, you can use that. That's how you can back up things. On the TouchChat app, you can use iShare. iShare is a paid prescription, and you get it free for the first year when you first get your app. If you want to continue after that, it's like about $60 for 6 months. And you can always use iTunes on the TouchChat app, or you can go to the AirDrop if your device allows it. So backing up with iShare. So you're going to go onto the menu. It's the same with all of them. You start with that and you go, and then now you're on iShare. So then you just put in your address. You could either register as a new one, or you go in and put your password that you've made, just your regular email address, and then put in your password. After you've logged in, here is your iShare account. And so put them in private files, and then you go and you select the file that you want to save. And if you want to add more of a description, you can. And then you just hit upload. iShare is where Saltillo has the files and they save it for you. So it's sort of like our little cloud-based thing, and so that's what it's for. Tap OK and it's up there. And then tap done. So if you want to download a file, you select the file to download from there. So now it's there and it uploads and you have that wonderful file. So it's nice for schools if they all do their own, if they do one big iShare account and they all can log in from their devices, and then you can share within there. So it works out really nice. So now with AirDrop, most of your newer iPads have the capability of AirDrop. Make sure your Wi-Fi and your Bluetooth are both on. And watch what your settings are. Make sure that the receiving device also has AirDrop. And so you choose the vocabulary and you go back to menu, and now it's going to say on there import export, and you pick AirDrop. And you're going to pick the file that you want to share. And you tap done. It's going to look for other iPads in range. They have to be close to each other to talk to each other. It's just the Bluetooth connection. So then the receiving device is going to get a message. And it's going to say, do you want to use this? And you say, yes, I'm going to do it. You can add a description on there so you know what this file is about. It imports it. You go over to your vocabulary, and it's right there. Your description and everything is there. So to email, is really, you'll find that it's really useful. I use this a lot. There was a little girl that was in the hospital. She actually had to go to Shriners, and so she was far away, and her speech therapist emailed a hospital page to the family because the family took the device when they went there. So they emailed this, and it worked out really wonderful. So if you have a custom file, you go to your library and you go again to transfer, and you're going to do the vocabs to file again. And what you do is it's going to say again, which one do you want to do? You select it, and then you go to transfer, and it's going to say, okay, where do you want to put it? And you put it onto your desktop, and you save it. So then here it is. The file is sitting on your desktop. And then when you open up your email, the file is, you just attach the file and you just email it to somebody. When they get the email, they just save that document into their chat editor import file, and then it will automatically upload it into the chat editor. So that's what your chat editor import file is for. One thing with that is when you open up your chat editor, it automatically starts uploading, but there might be a delay. Just be aware that sometimes I'm like, oh, where is it? I know it's there. How come it's not doing it? So just give it, 30 seconds or so, and it'll start doing it. So another really cool thing, and this is what the girl in the hospital, what we did, what the SLP did for her, is she went just a few pages that she moved over. So you can transfer just pages to file too. And you do it the same way. You collect transfer and you go pages to file. And so then it's going to tell you to create a page set. So this right here is the My Friends. This was a great idea that in a classroom there were, somebody took pictures and had all the kids on there with all their names on it, and then they wanted to give these to the other device users in there. So they only had to make this page once, and then they could pass it along. So they said, okay, I'm going to export this one. Again, it's going to say, where do you want to save this? And you're going to save it right on your desktop. And then that once you do it, then you attach it to your email. The person then puts it into the chat editor import file. So think about what you can do with this, all of these tools that you now have. And I really hope you go into the next Friday, and go through making materials. And that'll be really fun too. It's the things you can make. If you haven't signed up for it, please do. And then you can also get in-person trainings. You can schedule one of those, and you can register for our free webinars. You can watch ones that are recorded. And that's me. If I talk too fast and you want to know what I was saying on there, then please give me an email. It's Lisa at Saltillo if you want to ask her.
Thanks for joining us today. You will also find the manual online on our Saltillo website. So if you ever wanted to walk through the manual and you only had the editor, you didn't have a device, our manuals are all available on the download section of our website, and you can find the chat editor within that manual for our devices.